Guys, so I've got my running order here, and it says we won. I'm not sure that's correct. Is it? Okay, we're going live. Ipswich Town won a bloody game of football for the first time in 100 years, and boy, did they! Ipswich Town 5, Sheffield United 0. Welcome to Blue Monday, an Ipswich Town podcast. What is this witchcraft, Dave? Not only a virtuoso performance from one particular player to talk about, a 5-0 win. When did this last happen?
Well, we spoke about it earlier. We think the last 5-0, I didn't think we could recall, but 6-0 was Sheffield Wednesday. A couple of seasons in there, obviously the championship season. So a couple of seasons ago, and I think we also we'll get onto the spoiler alert. We'll get onto the hat trick when we cover it, I guess. But yeah, a handsome victory. Look, let's face it. Walked down with a couple from the pub. Westy was one of them, and we said any old scruffy victory will do. So a handsome 5-0 fitted the bill quite nicely, didn't it?
Scruffy, it weren't, Joe.
Yeah, no, we were really, really good, and it was one of those ones where you looked at the form guide, you looked at how it could go, and you thought, this is sort of your wildest dreams how it could go. Sheffield United are as bad as they sort of worse than they had been in their previous games. It clicked for us. The game picked up, and we just went from there.
Unbelievable scenes. So, Dave, we kind of build this one as, well, the two biggest underachieving teams really in the championship. And you could kind of give them both a pass on the basis that parachute teams have a crappy time in August and going into September. Was a bit of a don't lose this one for both managers. And we'll come on to what's happened for the poor Sheffield United manager later in the show. Yeah,
no, absolutely it was. It was, I think we're all carried the frustrations of the last home game against Derby. I think we're expecting perhaps something similar. I think the vast majority were expecting something similar against Derby, and that obviously didn't pan out too well. But as Joe said, no, it all clicked Friday evening. And how the goals were shared. Someone got 3, obviously, but confidence boosting goal for Hurst, Jack Clark as well. It couldn't have turned out better, really. Really couldn't have turned out any better.
I know some of it's messaging, Joe, but McKenna said in the post-match, this is kind of the first game for this group. And yeah, there's been 4 games, but he's kind of right, isn't it? It's, for this squad, this is ground zero, isn't it?
Yeah, and someone asked me on the Friday, like, what is the Ipswich Town's view at the moment? Where are we? And it's like, maybe because of how we started it did very feel like a season starts now. This is the season starts now game, and you hope it goes well, because I think if you win convincingly like we did, it feels like the season started now, where had that carried on and it been a draw or a defeat, you probably would have thought, oh no, we're still in this sort of, not spiral, but you're wanting something to get us out of that. But yeah, no, very much season starts now for us.
Welcome, everybody, to Blue Monday, an Ipswich Town podcast. We are going to be dissecting. It's going to be a fun one. Ipswich Town 5, Sheffield United 0. I'm sure you were all across the game, either watching on TV or in attendance. Get your views in via the comments. We'll flash as many of them up as we can. So, Dave, well, I'm going to ask you when we do the substitutes. We used to sit here and moan about year one parachute teams doing what we're about to do, but we'll get to that when the subs come on. But here is your 11, and I guess my question to you is this what we're rolling with now? So Palmer in goal, Furlong and Davis are the fullbacks, Greaves and O'Shea are the centre backs, Matasiwa and Kayust central midfield, McAteer and Philogene. Oh, Philogene wide. Akpom and Hurst are 9 and 10. There's some pretty good reserves though, but is that the first 11?
I think pretty much. I think so. I mean, it just had a nice balance to it, and we saw as the game progressed. Certainly, both fullbacks, who we'll perhaps get onto in a minute, but both fullbacks look very, especially in the right back. Furlong at right back, I thought had a superb game, absolutely settled. I think there was a slight maybe issue with injury with Ashley Young. I don't know, but something there. So that was great to see. Clearly, he likes McAteer. He likes that physicality on the right side there. I mean, there was 1 or 2 shouts that Jaden Philogene wasn't perhaps, he wasn't great against Derby. He was perhaps a bit frustrated against Derby. So there was one or two, but I think everyone know that he's very much McKenna was going to always stick with him. Obviously, proved quite right. And Akpom coming in that 10 role just gave us again a little bit more, I'd say, physicality, athleticism in that 10 role. I thought he had a pretty good game as well. So yes, I would say. However, subsequently you mentioned the subs bench, and we saw the sub, pretty much all the subs, new signings, everyone come on. So it was that was a kind of a nice feeling, albeit coming on in a game. A caveat, perhaps coming on in a game when you're 3 or 4-0 up and the opposition are gone, it's perhaps slightly misleading, but it was just great to see. Just an enjoyable evening, full stop, really.
Joe, Dave makes a great point using the word balance there, because sometimes the best 11 players isn't the best team, is it? It's about finding the right combinations and also who you're up against. What is your view on that 11 and the tension between the most expensive players, the best 11, and the best suited to play what you're up against?
But it certainly had the balance. And I think that started from the back, where Furlong looks much more similar to whether it's Janoy Donashian, Harry Clark, Axel Tuanzebe, the guys that we've signed for that right back role, where they do have that presence, that aerial ability to win any header that comes their way, to drop in, to go into that free, to be comfortable on the ball and when they need it, but play it sort of simply. Getting up into good positions, playing it simply rather than overplaying it from that position. So I think that just gave us a nice balance on that side. And the midfield balance is different to what we've seen before. Matasiwa is the sort of one-man wrecking ball at the back line, and it gave Karius more license to push forward from there. And whilst you look at it and you say you got Matasiwa, you got Karius and Nunes, one of those is going to have to be on the bench, because you need that option. You need somebody to be able to come. It's no good saying, we've got 3 top quality central midfielders. We're going to start them all, because then if anything does happen to any of them, you're down. So you need these guys to be on the bench. You need, I know it's silly the amount of money that we sitting on the bench when you made the 5 subs and 4 of them are Jack Clark at 15 million, Nunes at 7.5, Sindre at 17.5 million, Sam Smodix at 9.
Look how smug he looks.
And then Ivan, the other one, as a loanee who we had before the injury issues, had a 10 million euro fee lined up for. So it's serious talent on the bench, but you need that. You can't just have an 11 in this league. You need a 18 if you want to be what we want to be, which is automatic contenders.
Yeah, very, very much so. Joe, this Sheffield United team, and I'll make this point for 2 reasons. That they've got a lot of good players. A, when we talk about how the manager has kind of ultimately failed, and B, that, we have to play well to beat these lads. And the jewel in the crown, obviously, the Championship Player of the Season from... he didn't start. Never mind. Right. So Cooper in goal, who's been a great opponent for us, hasn't he? Godfrey returns. More from him later. Burrows, McGuinness, Tanganga. That's decent. Peck, Matos, newly in on loan. O'Hare, he's been very good. Okay, Barry, unproven at this level. Brooks, good youngster. Cannon, bit of a white elephant. But good players. Gus Hamer on the bench, Joe?
Yeah, that seemed a strange one. I think there was Gus Hamer, Tyrese Campbell, and they had someone else on the bench. I thought your 3 best attacking players are all on the bench here. Seemed quite a strange setup from them. And I spoke to a Sheffield United fan. They were saying, maybe it's because we've sort of, in these tight games, we've lost them once it's got to the last half hour. So he maybe wanted to protect them for that last half hour to win a tight game.
Sorry to interrupt, mate. I have on good authority, Gus Hamer has less tactical discipline than Steven Gerrard. He literally, you just give him as many instructions as you can. He follows none of them. So maybe it was that sort of thing. Give
him a role that doesn't need that discipline, if that makes sense. Just
like Mark Robbins did, and he was
play him off a striker.
Yeah,
play him off a striker or something. But somebody sent me a predicted team for them for the other day, and it was that Femi Siriki on the right and Godfrey at right back. And I said, if that's how you're going to line up with Godfrey, is that he's going to get destroyed tonight. And obviously, it wasn't Femi Siriki; it was Brooks, who's even rawer and less defensive on that side in front of him. So,
yeah, Siriki's played wing back.
Yeah, so it was just a mad setup. Like sometimes we did this when we were in the Championship, and you had like Harry Clark. He got in a bit of trouble at times at right back, but that's because he was always constantly 1-on-1 up against the team's best player, like Somerville and Steffi Mavididi. But I think this has showed how well Harry Clark actually did in that season, being 1-on-1 against these players. Because this is what can happen to you if you have a bad game and you're 1-on-1 against someone of that talent level. And this time it's Jaden Philogene, and he just absolutely destroyed him. And that's the third time we've seen that happen at Portman Road this year. Jeremy Doku, Son Heung-min, and now Jaden Philogene. And at least this time, Ben Godfrey was having a nightmare not in a blue shirt.
I got to the point with Doku in that podcast that I hated him so much I almost liked him by the end of it. Do you know what I mean? But Dave, this is very Paul Hurst, isn't it? Where you manage to annoy the fan base and players within 4 games, basically, and it's a ragtag mess. We really like Tanganga for Millwall. McGuinness went to Luton for 10 million quid, and Cooper. I'm sorry, I know we're going to get to one of the goals. Cooper's quality, but this was dreadful, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. 2 players I thought looked good for them. Until one dropped the ricket. Harrison Burrows is quality left back. I thought he had a really good game, and I quite like the look of that Peck in midfield. 42 in midfield. Yeah, he was busy. He looked quite good. And we'll get on to the game to kick it off. But for the first 20 minutes, it was pretty even. I mean, we had one really, really great chance where you got to put that down to Cooper. It was a hell of a sort of save, really, reaction one where he Davis nicks it back and he sort of almost just flips it. He gets a hand to it, which takes it off Akpom's head. But up till then, it had been pretty even stuff, really.
Do you want to take us up to the first goal then, Joe?
Yeah, there was another good chance Philogene had as well. We got in on there.
Yeah,
went onto his left and hit a good left foot shot, which Cooper had a strong hand on to put that behind. And while Sheffield United were probably as good as us in that first 10, 15 minutes, we were still getting a lot of space, and it's like this is going to be a very, very open game. And if this is the case, we're probably going to win this, unless it's going to be open. They score and then they totally shut up shop. But it just went on, and like I say, Philogene had been in space. He got the ball in a lot of space twice, and the third time it was a bit unlucky because I think McAteer tries to play the ball inside, and was it Brooks who sort of?
I think it's Brooks.
Yeah, flies in and it deflects.
It's perfect,
and it goes all the way to Philogene. But again, Philogene's there just with no one near him. He's got Ben Godfrey, and he's just got like a 20-yard run at him, and he just goes at him. And Godfrey, I don't really know what he's trying to do. He just sort of limply shows he's got someone coming over to help, and he just shows him inside, and Philogene just takes that inside line and just bends the ball around the covering defender, and it just goes sort of. It's not quite in the corner. It's not right in the corner. But when you're using the defender to shield the ball to go round, the keeper's not getting anywhere near that. There's a lot of power in that. And after, I'm sure we'll talk more about Philogene later. But the last couple of games have been so frustrating at Portman Road. I thought Southampton did well, but Derby got into such good positions, but slowed it down so much. Looked like he was really lacking confidence. Where this time it's just like, hopefully he spent the last 2 weeks being told. Is that because
he was going against low blocks though, Joe?
It might be, but he was still only 1-on-1 at times until he let people come back in. It's just like, just go and beat people. You've got the skill to beat people, and you've got to take these risks if you want to make things happen. And he certainly did that last night. And hopefully this is just the start for him, and this is the confidence can start flowing through him.
I think also, so someone Lee just mentioned in the chat, don't underestimate Davis's part certainly in the first, pretty much all his goals. Davis was unbelievable, just bombing, distracting defenders, distracting, the midfield runners sort of thing. He was absolutely superb. So that did enable sort of Philogene to drop his shoulder and come inside. But it was quite funny. It's quite ironic because obviously we'll get onto the third goal. But some people around me were saying, why is he showing him inside? Just show him on his left foot.
Well, Dave, this is probably the worst goal of the hat-trick, isn't it, this first one?
Oh, it is. I think it is. It's incredible, yeah.
Decent goal, though.
Yeah. I'm sure we'll get onto another hat-trick of bygone years after we describe his third, probably.
Yeah, that's a problem for Philogene, isn't it? Because, let's talk about it right now, because for the majority of Ipswich fans, this is going to be the best. We'll do it on the hat-trick goal. It's going to be get in the comments. This is surely the best hat-trick that most people watching this have ever seen an Ipswich player score, isn't it? But there you go. Dave, I just brought up the numbers for the first half. It's strong. 5 shots on target to 0 for only 0.97 XG. Actually, in the first half, Dave, 47% possession to Town, 53 to Sheffield United. And this is going to be a theme of mine. And please don't get cross with me and make a 17-page thread on TWTD about me. But not every single team is going to be this open at Portman Road, are they?
No, they're not. No, they're really not. No, I said I used the word caveat at the start, and they're really not. And they absolutely played into our hands. But again, we saw the Derby game. I was to say quite carbon copy. I suppose the Derby game was a bit more even after we scored against Derby. But while it's still 1-0, we've said this all along, Ben. While it's still 1-0 at half time, the Derby game comes back, and you almost get we need this second goal. We need this second goal desperately, and fortunately, it came fairly early on in the second half.
How do you see the balance coming out for second half, Joe?
Well, it's again because we're quite nervy as a crowd at this point because ultimately we were 1-0 up against Derby.
When did we last win at home, Joe?
Yeah, well, Chelsea, December the 29th,
right.
29th, wasn't it? So not in 2025. So at 1-0, you come out knowing the next goal is massive. If we score the next goal, we're probably going to win our first home game of 2025. Where if we concede it, then all bets are off as to what happens from there. So you are just waiting and hoping and praying that it is us that gets that first goal. And I thought we started the second half really well. We came out really, really quickly in that half and sort of pushed for it, and then led on to the second goal.
Yeah, do you want to? Who did the first one? Was it you, Joe?
Yeah.
Yeah, do you want to take it, Dave?
Yeah, this one was, I think, quite good interplay in the centre circle with Akpom and Hurst, who combined quite well. I think Hurst then lays it out left to Philogene, and he's not that close to the penalty area really, but again he's kind of he is 1-on-1 with Godfrey, and this time Godfrey does show him inside, which probably is the right thing to do, I guess. And sort of shows him into traffic sort of thing. But, I mean, he's unexpectedly, instead you would expect a carbon copy of the first goal where he bends it in the far corner. No, not this time. So he cuts inside, I think, past Godfrey, past Matthäus, I think, as well, could be him, and just absolutely hits it. To be fair to Cooper, probably a little bit unsighted, but he hits it early, almost reverses it, not quite, but hits it in the near post bar. And Cooper hasn't got a chance because it's just hit with such force. It's a pure strike, isn't it? Yeah, and again, another really great goal.
Joe, well, Dave has brought up Akpom. We had loads of back and forth when he signed about, is he a number 9? Is he a number 10? What sort of a role is he going to actually pick up? What's your take on it? I haven't seen him start now.
I was really surprised how deep he played at times. He really was really getting back to link up play. And again, he's a big physical specimen, a lot more physical than I remember him being when I've seen him here previously for Middlesbrough. I think he's really taken his game onto another level at that point with regards to the size of it and getting there and getting involved, being athletic, and he's just a very, very good footballer that gets on the ball, can create nice angles. He's much more like Connor Chaplin than I thought he'd be. I thought he'd be more very much that Sam Smollett's guy to get looking to get in behind all the time, but it really wasn't the case. And he had some really nice moments with Hurst, with Furlong, with Philogene on one side. And there's a couple of times where things didn't quite come off a little bit. Like, as we'll learn, you want to get the patterns more fixed into position than what they are at the moment. So that will come with time. But no, really, really promising in that side.
Dave, psychologically, this is a wounded Sheffield United. Does that second goal kill him, or is it the third one?
No, not really. I think the second goal, again, we always say that silly, really, is about 2-0 or a dangerous scoreline, need a third.
The most dangerous, Dave.
Well, there you go. Don't let them get back in the game. And I think it's at this point, they probably pretty much have their only shot on target. I think Cannon has a left foot shot, and it's a pretty smart save, actually. He's near post. You would expect him, he's near post, at Palmer's near post, but it's a pretty sharp save. Cannon hits that, about the only thing he did all night. He hits it quite well. So again, you think, and that goes for a corner, and you think, don't concede. And fortunately, the third goal wasn't that far away.
Take it away, Joe.
Yeah, it's just a sort of a fairly innocuous ball through that doesn't get anywhere near where it needs to get to. And Harrison Burrow comes across and just sort of deflects it totally back into George Hurst's path, puts him in on goal. Cooper's out sharply and quickly, and Hurst tries to sort of lift it over him, but it's a bit close and the ball rebounds up. I think there was an angle on Sky I saw sort of in the sort of bar afterwards, I haven't seen it back on there, where it looks like Hurst probably does handball it. It sort of does roll up, hit his hand, control. So he can't get out of the way of it, but I never know what the handball rule is. It changed every time you see it. And
you have to pretty much shoot immediately after for the deliberate to not be a thing.
But ultimately, there's no VAR. There was no deliberateness to it. It just happened, and he turns around and he he sort of spins and takes a really, really weak shot, but sort of Cooper just, I don't know whether it catches him out or, and
I think it does. I think it just takes him by
down for it,
surprise.
does he? And he looks like a sort of cricket fielder that hasn't really reacted to the ball coming to him, and it just goes through his legs, and it's a really, like I said, it's a really, really poor bit of goalkeeping, and from a goalkeeper who's been excellent whenever we've played him before. So it's not his usual style, but yeah, I think that was the point when if you're a Sheffield United fan, when you know this is the problem, everything's going wrong, and then you've just your goalkeeper, your ever dependable goalkeeper, who doesn't make mistakes, just lets a soft one through his legs to make it 3-0.
Well, Dave, last season they won so many games by a single goal, and so many games it's like Cooper saved them.
But we don't forget, they were 20 minutes. I watched the playoff final, 20 minutes.
I was there, mate, yeah.
For 70 minutes, they outplayed Sunderland. Absolutely outplayed. And it's just such a fine line, isn't it? Sunderland get a goal back. We know what happened. But yeah, but yeah, 3-0. They were, I think 3-0 killed them. They were done then. And it was just nice that we didn't, we've seen games where we're just happy. Well, teams are 3-0 up, happy to pass it around, just see it out, keep a clean sheet. But what was pleasing about that, after the next one goes in, the subs come on. I think the subs may come on just before that, actually. Some of the subs are made just before that, and we're still hungry for more, which was good to see.
This is absolutely brilliant. Absolutely, especially when you've scored 2 goals with your right foot. Whose goal is it? I can't even remember. Is it yours, Dave?
I think it is, thanks. Yeah, it is class. Yeah, I think the ball's played out, and I think Furlong actually wins a challenge, sort of just in their half, I think. And whether it's deliberate or not, but the ball breaks to Philogene. Groundhog Day, 1-on-1 with Godfrey, and you think,
but not Dave.
But as it was, it's just pure. This is pure skill and strike, because he does he sends it one way, steps over, gets it on his left foot, and absolutely roars it in. Don't he?
Dave, really sorry. Can you imagine Godfrey going, right, I'm sending this, what, outside, and as he hits it, he's probably like, oh, for F's sake, really?
The boys, Joe remembered in the first half, Philogene had a strike with his left foot in the first half. I think the keeper made quite a good save. Looked like he might have been pushed it on the post, but the keeper made quite a good save from. So how I feel about 2-footed players. The lad he's got talent in a bun, and it was so brilliant to see, and he absolutely crashes it in, sort of like just beats him for sheer power. No one's going to say
there's
that.
There's a shot on the Town in 5 from behind the goal. He larrups the crap out of that, Dave. What a goal!
It's a great goal, and just this skill. There won't be a better goal scored in the EFL. This I can't believe it. This weekend, it's absolutely brilliant goal, and richly deserved. Gets a hat trick. Obviously gets the match ball, and substituted to great acclaim shortly after.
What a performance, Joe. We've waxed for hours about Marcus Stewart scoring 3 completely different goals against Southampton, but to pull that one out when you've scored 2 with your right foot, just brilliance from Philogene.
Yeah, and this is what made Amari Hutchinson so good with us, that he could play off either foot, left foot, right foot, wherever you want to go. He could show defenders one way or the other, and it just makes it's so difficult as a defender to go against his sides who can go both ways. And we saw how Amari finished the season in the Championship. Well, Philogene can start the season like that. I'm not saying he's going to be better than him long term or anything, but ultimately we signed Amari Hutchinson for a Championship season when he had about 18 minutes of senior football behind him. Well, Jaden Philogene's been a star performer at this level before, and if Kieran McKenna can put that same confidence sort of spell on him that he puts on a lot of other players, and just telling them to go out there and play, then he's going to be a main man for us this season. And I say I'm sure we won't get probably any performances as good as he was on Friday night, but he's just got so much talent. And if he's got 2 people on him, that means somebody else, Tuber Akpom's going to have a bit more space, George Hurst's going to have a bit more space, and you can't man mark everyone out of the game. And he's shown that he's one that needs to be.
I'm not sure I've seen a better finishing hat trick than that. We spoke about the one back in '88, Daly and Atkinson. That was something else.
What about Stewart's against Southampton? I know they weren't all fit, because one of them was just a ridiculous team goal, wasn't it? But he Panenka's a penalty and scores a ridiculous header. That's a good shout. Magilton against Bolton, just for the sheer occasion of it and the drama.
Yeah, that obviously Midgelton against Bolton, just for what it meant, was just ridiculous, wasn't it? It's a good shout, this Stewart, because I was going to say one's a penalty, but of course he Panenka'd it.
Panenka'd it, mate.
The first one's a team goal, brilliant. Clapham, brilliant. And the one is a ridiculous header, isn't it?
Stupid header.
Yeah. It's a good shout. It's a good shout.
I just think the actual quality of goal,
individual goals,
yeah, because as good as Marcus Stewart's second goal was against Southampton, that's because it was a fantastic team. Jamie Clapham around 70 yards to put the ball on the plate.
Ridiculous cross.
Yeah, he's got to be there and score it, and there. But no, that was as good a quality hat trick as I've seen. Yeah, I think there's some great.
Matthew must get points for it being a first half hat trick, Joe.
Yeah, and that first goal he scored was unbelievable. I think I can't even
the spin from the throw on.
Yeah. I think Grant Ward's one against.
It's really good, wasn't it? Yeah.
Barnsley was a really good quality hat trick, but I think this one, it was just because it was free. I know there's teamwork and there's Leif Davis making 60-yard sprints, knowing he's not going to get the ball to drag someone with him and bits like that. But ultimately, this was 3 times your wingers one-on-one against a fullback, and he's just gone at him, scared the life out of him, and pulled out 3 excellent finishes there. Probably, I don't know, if you look at the XG of those 3 chances, probably about 0.5 in total, and he's just buried all 3 of them. And he's had 2 other good chances in that game, and it's just if you can isolate him one-on-one against a fullback, then we know he's got the beating of them and can get shots away either foot. And
0.08, 0.05 and 0.12. So you're about right with that, Joe. Joe, are Sunderland and Leeds fans going to stop emailing me and blaming me personally for Jack Clarke not being as good as he used to be?
Well, he came on and scored a goal, didn't he? And I think he's getting that confidence back, but he hasn't been very good for us. And I think the Premier League was a step too far for him last season, and maybe it's because he came in late, he didn't get up to speed. He was quite unfortunate when we had early red cards, which happened 3 or 4 times. He was the guy that got sacrificed. I think it happened against Aston Villa, Arsenal, Newcastle. He was the one. So he finally got himself a start, and then he was sort of pulled off too early and didn't really get a chance. And now this year, we then went to sign Jaden Philogene. He's the guy that's going to have the possession of the shirt. So he's got work to do, but if he's going to be our 60, 65-minute sub to come on and make things happen, then if he keeps doing what he's doing, which is score goals in the last 2 games, he's going to be really pushing McKenna for a start. And that's about all he can do at the moment. But we're not going to build a team around him like we did at Sunderland.
No.
Talk about the goal, Dave. Number 5.
More of the same, really. I think it's clearance by Tananga, or the ball's headed back across the box. I think Tananga.
Tanganga, just before he
it was
went.
It was a block shot, wasn't it? From the Norwegian.
No, you're right. This was with the goal. It was a block. I think the ball's headed out from Tanganga. And Egley, who came on a little cameo, likes to get the ball and shift the ball on his left foot and has a go, doesn't he? And it's a shot from about 30 yards. It's sort of like balloons up in the air. And again, Godfrey, he's done by then, isn't he? But he's kind of ball watching. And a sharp by Clarke, he chests it down and hits it going through poor old Michael Cooper's legs, admittedly from virtually point blank range. But yeah, it just goes under him. But again, even for that goal, Godfrey doesn't really react. He doesn't cover himself with too much there. Horrible goal, really. But we'll take it.
So we've spent years, Dave and Joe, moaning that this is completely unfair and that the parachute payments completely distort the league. And Joe, I used to get cross with Dave. He used to bring up people's benches as a barometer for everything. But the 5 subs we brought on in this game is ridiculous, isn't it? Nunes, Smodics, Azon, Clarke, and the Championship's most expensive ever signing, Egelli. How do we cope with this as podcasters and fans when we've been moaning about it for so many years, and now we're the ones with the ridiculous tens and tens of millions of talent, Joe, on the bench?
I don't think you worry too much about it when you're playing a fellow parachute team in Sheffield United.
Fair point.
The fact that their squad is how it is.
Well, Tom Cannon was 10 million.
Yeah, is a show of that. Yeah, you can get the money, but you've got to spend it properly. You've got to buy players that can improve you now and be sold on. So yeah, I'm not too worried there. I think it's tougher when you're playing sides who have been very well run and doing well. So probably like a Middlesbrough, Coventry, those sort of sides have been upwardly mobile for a few years and there. But even you look at Norwich, they've spent like 40, 50 million over the last 2 seasons. And yeah, they've made some sales, but that's still effectively the receipt of the parachute payments they were getting 5 or 6 years ago that allowed them to buy your Sargents, your Signs, your whoever else they sold for big money this summer. I can't even. Oh, Nunez, yeah, yeah. But the parachute payments allowed them to buy these guys previously, so the tail of that is still dragging on. So yeah, I'm not. I say you can't be too worried, aren't you? We're doing everything within the rules.
Don't hate the player, hate the game,
Yeah.
Joe.
And when you look at, like I say, Birmingham, Wrexham,
yeah.
well, Birmingham especially sort of fiddling sponsorships for maximum amount to allow them to compete with that. And I think, well, I'm not even too bothered about that. Everyone wants their club to do the best they can, and if that involves spending money, which it generally does in the Championship, then that's just the way it's going to be, isn't it? But you've got to take advantage of this. That's the thing. It's like Southampton. You look at the team they put up today against Portsmouth. It's very, very good, and we're going to have to finish above them at least to get promoted, aren't we?
Yeah. So it ends 5-0, Dave, and this morning, Rubén Sellés was sacked after 5 games in charge. He's gone and done a Paul. I mean, I say
they lost in the cup as well, didn't they?
They did, yeah. I mean, I say he's done a Paul Hurst. Paul Hurst kind of went after the players publicly and lost the media and the fans as well. But yeah, a last hurrah. And I had some messages from Sheffield United fans saying, I'll take it. I didn't really like the manager, so if it gets him out a couple of games sooner, but what a disaster, Dave. And to what extent do we need to understand that although we played brilliantly and it was a virtuoso performance from Philogene, this was talk to me about that.
They would die. They were poor, really. I think I picked out. Earlier on, I picked out 2 of their best players. I thought it was Burrows and Peck in midfield looked quite good, but other than that, they were really, really poor. And I don't know what Joe thought, but when Hamer came on, he didn't look interested, really. So clearly, you think
the players aren't having him or weren't having him.
No way, no. And they clearly lost the crowd probably once I'd say second goal. Certainly when the third goal went in, they certainly turned. And fair play, hardly any of them packed up.
They turned at Middlesbrough the game before.
He was going to go. I mean, then now you sort of hear whispers. I mean, you'd know more than this. That there's even whispers of potentially Wilder going back there again. I mean, can you see that? I don't know. Can you see that?
Yeah, I think it's nailed on, isn't it? The Wilder.
Yeah, and they've been as leaky as a. What under that ownership. So
you'd think, with the squad they've got and then the nucleus of the players they've got under a new manager, especially if it's Wilder, they'll start playing for the manager again. And you've got to think results will pick up. But we all know, you get into that losing trough, as it were. What's that now? 5 on the bounce, 6 on the bounce. What is it now? Cup game. It's tough to get out of, but yeah, I think that was always going to be a new manager was always going to be on the cards there. I think his card was well and truly marked on Friday night. That was just the nail in the coffin, really.
Final summings up, Joe.
But sorry, just back on Sheffield United.
Yeah, go for it.
This is sort of how not to run a football club as well, because they've tried to move away from Chris Wilder twice now, and ultimately last season, I know they had the small point deduction. He got 92 points. They beat Bristol City 6-0 in across the 2 legs of the playoff semi-final, and they lost the final where they're the better team. So sometimes you've just got to think, actually, we were unlucky. We should have gone up this year. We haven't. To think, okay, now is the time when we're going into our final year of parachute payments.
Gave him a 3-year contract as well.
Yes, this year he's been given a new contract, sacked and rehired in about a 6-month period. Is going to be, but if this is Ipswich, if this happens to Kieran McKenna this year, and you think, oh, actually, we're going to totally rip the club up and start again in our final year of parachute payments. Well, they're never ever going to have a better chance to get up than what they've got now, and they've totally screwed it up now, haven't they? I know you only need to get 70 odd points to get the playoffs. I'm sure Chris Wilder's pretty capable of getting 70 points from 41 games. So,
oh god, what did Steve Cooper get from 39 for Nottingham Forest with the worst squad?
Yeah, so I don't think their season's done in any way. And you could see it was going this way because they started the window signing players from the Bulgarian second division and then ended it signing Danny Ings, Ben Mee.
The 2 players from Luton.
Yeah, so you can see it feels like Chris Wilder's sort of spectre was hanging over them at the very end of the transfer window. So they've wasted the 2-week international break and that. So, but yeah, they'll go again and they'll be stronger than what they were, but they've given such a big head start to teams around it. So tough one. But final summing up of the games, like, the season does start now. We've got Blackburn away next week. I don't think they've won at home yet this season, so it's another good opportunity to go and pick up 3 more points. And these are the sort of runs you've got to go on. You've got to go on runs when you win 7 out of 8, and you're going to have to do that 3 times in the season where you just roll out win after win after win.
And Dave, I do think it's worth saying that we were the bookies' favourites going into the season. Although someone made a fair point in the Telegram, that was based on a completely different squad than we've got. I think it was purely based on the fact we were the only year 1 parachute team who didn't change the manager or were due for a points deduction. Yeah. But this is very much going to be a lot of. I remember talking to Leeds fan last year. He was moaning that everyone low blocked them at Ellen Road, and I'm like, well, what do you want them to do? The point I'm trying to make in an incredibly long-winded way, Dave, is that, well, you tell me how many out of the remaining home games. It's not always going to be like this. They'll double up on Philogene. They'll sit behind the ball, now, stink it up. I mean, they were good anyway before this, but here's some evidence of, what you've seen, what Eustace and Heckingbottom did that kind of worked and got results, and what Sellés has tried to do. I'm just throwing it out there that this is not going to be.
It's not. They were incredibly, naive, really, weren't they? Really were. They came toe to toe, which is great. So at least it shows us that if a side comes, maybe Sheffield United, a different case in points, they're in such bad form, in such a bad run. But if a side comes down there and tries to go toe to toe anywhere, really, we've got the best. There's no doubt about it. We've got the best squad, and we should be able to win those games. But it'll be interesting to see when we next play. So, Portsmouth is it next home game potentially. Whether, who knows? Hopefully, if they nick a goal or something like that, how we respond to a low block then. But what it does do is just give you confidence to beat that, for goodness sake. The likes of Philogene, the flair players who would, hopefully be the key to unlocking these teams.
We are pretty heavy favourites again now, aren't we? I think we're 10-3 to win the league, and Coventry is 6-1, Southampton 7-1. So we're a good chunk ahead of the rest of the market now, and the bookies are the ones who put their money where their mouth is every season and generally come out on top of it. So they're the ones you want to impress, not an Opta supercomputer or this or that or pundits. The bookies are the market leaders.
What about YouTubers doing 1 to 24 videos at the start of the season, Joe?
What, just for some clicks?
That will get on TWTD as well, won't it? I think, Joe, do you agree with this? Middlesbrough, Bristol City, Leicester actually won't, having seen how they played Birmingham the other day. West Brom will, Coventry will, Norwich won't. Birmingham will play against us. That's it. I've got 5 teams that will come out and go toe to toe at Portman Road. I reckon. Do you agree? Bearing in mind we've already played Southampton.
Yeah, you just got to try and get an early goal in these games, don't you? You get an early goal, and then the game opens up for you. So it's up to us to find ways to get through these. We had to do it in League One, and you saw that second half of the League One season where we
good point.
That 15 game run where we scored like 45, 50 goals and conceded 1. It's just how. We're not going to get like that again. So you just have to.
Teams can't stay in a low block all game if we score first. I bet they can, mate. I bet they. Yeah, well, I bet some people will take a 1-0 defeat if it's looking like it's going to be a chasing, Joe.
I'll take a 1-0 win.
There you go. Yeah, happy days. Right, we have got a big announcement after a word from our sponsors, our show partners. Excuse me, at Atwells.
Blue Monday is brought to you in partnership with Atwells Solicitors, your ideal legal partner for property and business law. Whether you're buying a home, starting a business, or just need legal guidance, our dedicated team has got you covered. Trust our award-winning customer service team to handle your legal matters with care and expertise. Find out more at atwells.com or visit us at our offices in Ipswich, Colchester, London, and our new location in Woodbridge.
Okay, drum roll, please, ladies and gentlemen. We are very, very, very pleased, delighted, even it says here, to announce the return of Blue Monday Live. We're going to be doing a live show at Portman Road. What a venue. Saturday, 25th of October, after the West Brom game. So the West Brom game is the main TV game. And we will be, I think it's a 5 p.m. start. Rich will type in the comments if I've got anything wrong. So the game will finish sort of 2:30 or something, and they've just got to turn the room around there in hospitality. We will have the Blue Monday gang there. We will have an ITFC legend as well. We had Luke Chambers last time. Absolutely brilliant that was. And that will not go out as a podcast. If you want to hear that stuff, you've got to buy a ticket for the show. And we are going to put the tickets on sale, David Diamond, right now. And we're about to give away 4 free top tier memberships because the tickets cost £10. But Joe Fairs, if you are, not now, they're going on sale at 9 p.m. My producer has just told me, dearie me. If you are a top tier member or a Telegram member, it will cost you £5 for a ticket. If you are not, it will cost you £10. So why wouldn't you just buy a top tier membership and get a ticket as well? And then you've got both things, even for a month, just to try out. Dave, brilliant last time, wasn't it? October the 25th. You're looking forward to it, mate?
Yeah, always good, always brilliant. This will be our 4th or 5th, do we think? Fourth, perhaps? 4th, maybe? Yeah, curved bar, will it? Yeah. Must be our 4th. So yeah.
It'll be our 3rd at Portman Road, yeah.
Yeah, it will be. Something to look forward to. There, as you said, Luke. It won't be Luke Chambers here, but it'll be a tough act to follow because he was absolutely superb, wasn't he? So yeah, if it's as good as half as good as that, we'll have a great time. Looking forward to it.
Joe Fairs, people may as well get involved with the top tier and Telegram promo. Get involved in that. Same price as a ticket anyway. Yeah,
because you could get that, and you've got effectively a month's free trial on those, haven't you? So you might as well look to see how one of those are going, or both of those preferably, and see how they're going and get involved.
Blue Monday Live. I can't wait. I'm smiling like a Cheshire cat. You might see another Jaden Philogene genius masterclass down at Portman Road. In fact, that's one of the games I just flagged up that will be quite open with Ryan Mason. Although Ryan Mason got John Eustace on Saturday, so maybe he will come. He's not going to come with a low block. It's going to be brilliant. It's going to be 4-4, 5-4.
It should be a top of the table clash by then, because West Brom will start the season well, and our season has started now. We'll be flying up the table.
We are officially, well, Joe, will we be what, 1st or 2nd, maybe 3rd by then?
Yeah, we'll definitely be in the top 6 by then, won't we? And upwardly mobile.
Confident. So Blue Monday Live, yeah, October 25th. Tickets go on sale. I said they went on sale. Now, I was wrong. I was wrong about that. Look at that. What a man. I can admit when I'm wrong. It'll be on sale at 9 p.m. ITFC women, bit of an iffy start, Dave, in WSL2. Defeated 0-1 by fellow promoted side Nottingham Forest in the first game over at Colchester. They lost to Southampton as well. So a bit of a tricky start for the ladies.
Yeah, I think very much so. I think they're still finding their feet. By all accounts, I think I was reading that Forest threw quite a bit of money at it in the close season, from what I understand. And I
Mr.
think
Marinakis offset that against some Olympiacos stuff or something, allegedly.
Allegedly. And I think it was one of those games where Forest, I think, really between the lines, looked like one of those games. I watched a little bit of it on YouTube. One of those games where whoever was going to score first perhaps was going to nick the result. And Forest, once they scored, I think, pretty much seemingly shut the game down pretty well. So, yeah, a tough start. Just needs.
Oh, is Nuno managing the ladies now at Forest now? Then sounds like his tactics, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think obviously a tough start, and again, just perhaps as we were last season, need to get those 3 points, at least a point or something on the board, ASAP.
This week, Beyond the Scoreline will be out tomorrow for top tier members with Adam and Oscar. Joe, is there a news show on Wednesday? It says question mark on my running order.
I think it's more like, I think they might be changing to Tuesdays and news shows. It's in negotiations.
Okay, Joe is negotiating.
There will be a news show this week.
Joe's negotiating a news contract. He's a notoriously hard negotiator as well. Can you think of an agent I can throw? He's the George Mendes. Sorry, you went dark there, Joe. Say that again.
Monster Hall.
Oh, okay.
Eric Hall, Monster.
There you go. I'm going to be on the pre-match show. Derby was said previewing Blackburn. And Henry and George will be doing the weekend preview for top tier members on Friday. And David Diamond, ladies and gentlemen, doesn't David Diamond sound really good tonight? Better than he's ever sounded.
Thanks, mate. Yeah, got some new kit. Thanks to Rich. You brought it
Yeah.
round yesterday, sorted it all out for me, of course, made sure everything was working. Not saying he trusts me with it. He's probably right not to. So yeah, thanks to Rich for sorting all that out yesterday. Fantastic.
Yeah, we'll keep the pre-show rigmarole. That can stay behind the fourth wall. So pleased for Adam and Oscar. They can analyse an actual win. Nah, that's boring, isn't it, Richard? Winning. Right, we need to get into Championship this past round. Here is what occurred, Joe. Charlton 1, Millwall 1, Oxford 2, Leicester 2. Probably helpful. Preston 2, Borough 2, probably helpful. Preston still doing well against the big sides up the top. Coventry 1, Norwich 1. Coventry recording the next year of 17 and not managing to win that game. Sheffield Wednesday 0, Bristol City 3. Bristol City are good, and they've got nice
Wednesday
fixtures.
are terrible, though.
That is also true, Joe. Two things can be true. Stoke 1, Birmingham 0. Birmingham back-to-back defeat. Swansea 2, Hull 2, Watford 0, Blackburn 1. Our next opponents, West Brom 0, Derby 1, Wrexham 1, QPR 3. You were right about Richard Coney, Joe. I'll give you that one. He looks quality, mate. Southampton 0, Pompey 0. Connor Chaplin playing in that one. What do you want to talk about, Dave?
Oh, what do you start with that? I mean, the Coventry Norwich game was totally bizarre, wasn't it? Coventry had something like 28 shots to Norwich's 3, albeit only 4 on target. And a 1-1 game. I think they had an XG of about 4.2 or something against Norwich's 0.13 or whatever. Absolutely bizarre. So I don't think Norwich could complain.
Coventry look really good, Dave. Making so many chances, aren't they?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think Norwich could have too many complaints of concede, although it was a horrible concede. I think by all accounts, Harry Darling had been heroic most of the game until that last.
We need Ben to sing an "Oh Darling."
Oh, mate, that's so hard to sing. You can't speak after
that last clearance. But no, other than that, I spoke to someone. Funny enough, I spoke to someone, a Watford fan I met yesterday evening at a thing I went to, and he was at the Watford Blackburn game. And what I didn't realise, Adam Wharton's brother plays centre back for Scott Ward, and he said he was
in the
tremendous.
Team first, yeah.
Yeah, he said he was tremendous. He said he was absolutely tremendous. But no, yeah, if you look at those results, Wrexham, people were talking them up at the start of the season. What are your views on QPR? That was kind of decent results. Obviously, they got Kone. It looked like they got an attacking threat, QPR again. Oh,
yeah. Saito, Burrell they've got from Burton. Dembele's good as well. I think they've got the best players they could get in their position. Do you know what I mean? And yeah Joe, talk to me about Kone, because I wasn't quite having that when you were saying that last year, but he's going to do a good job in the Championship, isn't he?
Is that his third of the season as well? I think he got his first 2 goals.
Probably only his second start, isn't it?
Yeah, I think he came on and scored one and then started and scored the next one. But this was an excellent goal, sort of played in and just
hammered it.
Barely touched, just flies right in the top corner, rising as it goes into the net. And yeah, 3 goals in not a lot of minutes so far. Seems a really good acquisition. And one that I'd have liked to have gone for. I don't know whether we could have done him, Hurst and Ivan, whether all 3 of those could have worked as a combination. Might have been a bit difficult, but yeah, for the money he went for, I think it's about 3 million he went for, even slightly less. It looks a really, really good signing for them. And I think there was talk that Wickham had been offered more money, but they wanted to sell him somewhere, maybe where he could showcase himself a bit more and put a good sell on in there, which it looks like they've certainly done with that with QPR. So it might be in the long term, that's a better deal than taking an extra few $100K up front. But I think just generally, you look at the 11 other results there, or 12 if you include ours, and say, if I was picking the result I wanted, you probably get about 9 out of that lot that you want. I don't think you're going to have many weekends.
It was Stoke and Birmingham drawing, couldn't you?
Yeah, but when you look at that, like Charlton and Millwall have both started the season well, I think, performance-wise. Maybe not quite get the results. Draw there, Leicester draw, Preston, who've had a good home record, Middlesbrough flying, draw, Coventry, Norwich, both you expect to be up there, draw. Well, Sheffield Wednesday are never going to get anything, were they? Like mentioned, Stoke, Swansea started the season quite well, draw.
Yeah, they look good, don't they, Swans? Yeah.
Watford look good at times, bad at times, very inconsistent, lose. West Brom start the season very well, lose to a team in Derby that are not going to be at the top end of the league. And Southampton and Portsmouth both start the season. Well, Portsmouth started it well, and Southampton, we know we're going to be strong.
Did you watch any of that? Did you quarrel a bit for Chaplin?
So Dazelle hit the bar.
Yeah,
I thought Dazelle had injured himself hitting the bar. I thought he was
He
going
looks really, really good this year.
Dazelle looks good. Dazelle's found a manager that sort of believes in him. And
Dave, I was going to ask you guys, do you think Mark Ashton's fabled list of managers that he monitors, surely John Mousinho's on that list? I think
you would think so. You would think so. I quite like him. And they played really well first half. Southampton, I watched a fair bit of that game, came out second half as you being the home side, as you would have thought, and were probably edged the second half. But Portsmouth were good, and Dazelle looked really good. He looks like he's beefed up a bit, but he's always been a great technical player. We know that, but clearly he's got Mousinho now that really kind of really believes in him, which is really good to see. And Chaplin did one ridiculous turn on Stevens. Sent him to next week, did he? Class, absolute class. So no, fantastic. That was again another decent result. Southampton not winning.
Right, get your questions in for Joe Fairs and David Diamond. Stick a Q in beforehand. Once again, quick little plug. The tickets for Blue Monday Live will be going on sale at 9 p.m. Have a look on the socials there, and we will get that all up and running as soon as the show is finished. Right, where are my questions? Here we go. Philip, Joe, what is your general opinion about the EFL's proposal to extend the championship playoffs? So it'd be 7th and 8th in a head-to-head and basic. No, sorry, I'm completely wrong about that. 8th against 5th, 6th against 7th, to then play off against 2 legs against 3rd and 4th, and the eliminator will only be 1 leg.
I think you have to understand that the playoffs are there to take, in a way, they're there for entertainment and not merit, because if you do it just on merit, the top 3 go up, that's done. And I think everyone would agree the playoffs have been a good invention for the league and taking it into there. So I'm not particularly bothered by it. If it happens, it happens. They're the new rules. I think they do, if anything, give a little bit more of an advantage to the teams that finish 3rd and 4th, because they don't have that extra game that they've got to fit in. Yeah. So anything that gives a little bit more advantage to the teams that finish higher in the league, I think is good. And if a couple more teams get a chance to get in the playoffs, there, like I say, I'm not mega fussed by it, but I don't. So I think you've got to accept that we're in an entertainment industry, and that's why the playoffs exist, for entertainment. So if they tweak them slightly, what difference does it make?
There you go. I can't pronounce that. Kai Fass, however you want that pronounced. Hello, everyone, and congratulations. What a win. Marcelino had some game time too. What did you, Dave, think about his debut? Best regards from Chile.
There we go. I mean, you can see he's a player, just looked absolutely silky on the ball and almost scored with a ridiculous free kick at the end.
He's got a big bonus, Dave, that before he even touched the ball, every single fan absolutely loves him.
Yeah, exactly. So he put some swerve and some swaz on that free kick, didn't he? It was just dipped. People watch it go by. But yeah, he just looked calm, assured on the ball. Someone compared him in the chat to kind of Magilton, getting that ball on the half turn, just finding a pass, demanding the ball. Yeah, you could see he's a quality player. But again, difficult to judge in that last 20 minutes he had when you're 3 or 4-0 up against a side that, quite frankly, had thrown in the towel by then. But yeah, you can see his quality on the ball.
Big thank you
can see why Norwich fans
Brian Blanco and Adrian Garrett for signing up as members. Quickly, Joe, and I'll move on to the next question.
You can see why Norwich fans are so annoyed to lose him as well, because he is that sort of player that you just enjoy watching. He's getting on the ball, making things happen, pushing things forward, wanting it. He's not sometimes there's players where you think, they are good players, but they're not exciting to watch. Well, he's got to be both, isn't he?
Stay with you, Joe. Adam, what do you guys make of Wale Eggely's cameo? And Ben Johnson is looking like the odd one out in this squad now.
Yeah, I thought it was promising. He got on the ball a lot. He's not afraid to have a shot, as he likes to come in, and he's got some serious power in that left foot.
How do you think he'll be used, Joe?
I think probably like that, just coming in off that right hand side, or maybe playing slightly further over as a 10.
17 million quid.
Yeah, just get him in there. Get him on the ball and make things happen, isn't it? Which is what you want him to do. And I think he'll take a little while to get up to the speed. That was probably a very good place to make a debut, but. Yeah, you can see straight away the bits that they like about him, the physicality, that bit of speed, that strength he can turn, he can hold players off, and he's got, like I say, hammer of a left foot, and he looks to make things happen every time he gets on the ball. He's very positive-minded and positive forward. And, agree on the Ben Johnson point.
Johnson.
He's probably your backup left back effectively at the moment, isn't he? And maybe when it comes to January, something happens with him.
I won't ask the audience direct, Dave, but it'd be interesting if someone did ask a question, or at least mention Ben Johnson, even if he's not in the team, so we can do our childish peep show thing when Joe tries to concentrate and talk about him. But I won't ask the audience direct to do that, Dave. I'm just speaking to you here, mate. And I'm going to ask you Norman Greenwald's question. Now the squad is settled, who do you think will be our top scorer this season?
Who do I think will be our top scorer? Here, go put it out there now. Shock. Jaden Philogene.
Do you think?
Honestly.
Rob from the wing, not Akpom.
No, I don't see it. No. Well, unless he plays further forward. Joe said that. No, I think honestly,
he's doubling down, Joe.
No, in that role, just seeing it. I know. I said use that caveat at the start that he's not always going to have nights where he's going to have the freedom of the freedom. But no, I see it. Honestly, I do. Yeah.
Well, I'm surprised by that. What do you think, Joe?
I'd probably stick with George Hurst because if he's going to be your main number 9 throughout the season, he's already got 2, hasn't he, so far? So he's only 1 behind Philogene as it stands. But you just think he's just going to get enough chances just to keep his numbers ticking over while there may be more rotations outside of him.
What are the panel's thoughts on McAteer thus far? You're not going to get the panel's thoughts, Toffee Chris. You're going to get Joe Fairs and Joe Fairs alone.
I can see why we signed him. He looks very similar to how Wes Burns plays that role. Sort of strong, direct, physical, can work backwards. Decent end product so far I've seen, sort of crossing. But I think we probably need to forget the £12 million transfer fee because I think it's very difficult for a player of his type to not to justify the fee, but basically if he has a season as good as Wes Burns had for us in the Championship in 23-24, then that's £12 million well spent. But it doesn't feel like that because Wes Burns was signed for 100k for Fleetwood, did brilliant for us in League One and did it in the Championship. But I think we maybe just need to put aside the fee and what type of player is going to be for us. We may have overpaid a bit, but if he can put in a performance like he did on Friday night and be dependable, solid, let other people play, do his hard work going back and forth, then that's what we need in that role, and that's what we've now got, and that's what we obviously didn't think we had in Chio Ogbene.
Yeah. Dave, there's a few right back related questions here. Neil says Furlong the right back now. Dorset Blue. What about Harry Clark? He must be third choice right back now. And Greg says with how good Furlong was and McAteer getting up to speed, do we consider? So just talk a little bit about the right hand side in general, and could Furlong literally just come in and bang out 35 games now?
I thought he looked really good the other night. Again, very difficult to judge because he wasn't up particularly against anyone sort of flying at him the other evening.
He's been a good opponent against us, Furlong, hasn't he?
Yeah, he looked really assured, just good in there. Joe quite rightly said, good in the air, quick feet, good delivery, crisp delivery. I thought he was absolutely excellent. So yeah, you would think he would be our first choice. As for as I mentioned, Harry Clark, well, he probably is. He's now vying for that probably backup spot with Ashley Young, that backup to him now. If Furlong stays fit, he'll be a great asset. I thought he was really good the other night. And we didn't actually see it, but I know he's got a mega long throw, which we didn't have to use the other night. Disappointingly, because I was looking forward to seeing that. But
West Brom fans used to literally, the ones on the front row, used to bring along towels and dry the ball for him. They were so into his long throw against people.
That's what.
Bottom row of the Pioneer. That's where you sit, actually, Dave. Isn't it?
It was, and Rob. We sit virtually bottom row of the. I'm sorry, Pioneer. Yeah. And Rob just mentioned that. He was talking right through the game as well, which was great. And
he was captain, I think, at West Brom as well, Dave.
I think he was. Yeah. I think he was. Yeah. So you've got that experience. Great signing from what I can see.
I'll tell you who else was the talker as well that I wouldn't have expected. Chuba Akpom as well. He was very vocal on the pitch, and you see him in the Town and 5 when there's goals. He's seems a big voice, a big character in the group already. Where I don't think that's
wasn't he?
Yeah, I don't think that's something I'd have expected from Akpom. Not for any real reason, but normally your sort of more mercurial attacking players aren't those sort of players. Obviously, Conor Chaplin was, but yeah, he seemed. He's a very, very experienced player. He's played in Europe, played in the Eredivisie the last couple of years, played in a French top flight. So yeah, he is a player from a top level we've signed.
He's really
one
athletic,
more. I'll take it, and you can tell me if you agree. Paul, who out of the current top 6 are going to be the hardest to catch? I'm going to go back to Joe's answer, where no one's really streaking out like us and Leicester did a couple of years ago. I think Coventry look very viable, given the amount of chances that they continually keep making and are probably going to continue to make. Leicester could get... I'll be honest, the EFL often do it in international breaks. I thought Leicester would have had their sanction by now. So maybe we'll have to wait for October for that. So that might make them easy to catch. Bristol City have got a nice run of fixtures. And obviously, when you look at Middlesbrough, they've got 13 points from 5 games. So even if Joe's right and in the long run, we're going to have a good season, that's a lovely cushion to have to start off with. But, they have had a bit of a hot start. But what we're not looking at, Joe and Dave, is like a year one parachute team who's like really cracking it out, not conceding any goals, looking really, really solid. And obviously that includes us in that kind of position. So I think I like Coventry best, but they've got 4 points fewer than Middlesbrough. Dave?
Yeah, certainly on chance creation. I think you're agreeing there. They're rattling in goals. They had 5, wasn't it? They've had a 5 at Derby, was it? I think, yeah.
7 against QPR.
Sorry, 7. Forgot that. 7 against QPR. So obviously they've got something there. Interesting. Middlesbrough, you're right. It's a great start, isn't it? Didn't lose. Were down yesterday. Actually got pegged back. Were they 2-1? No, they were 2-1 down.
They were 1-0 and 2-1 down. All the Borough fans were saying to me they'd have lost that game under Carrick. Yeah.
Great goal from Dobbin, by the way, in that goal. The first goal. What a goal that was. Yeah, well, similar to Philogene's almost. It's slightly different.
You want to have last word, Joe?
Yeah, I think I'm glad it's Southampton aren't in the same position that Leicester are in now. I think if that was the case, I think I'd be worried about catching them when you look at their squad. So, Middlesbrough's 7 points. If we win our next 5, you're probably still not going to catch them, are you? So,
he's had it already, Dave.
Yeah. Well, till the next international break. We could win every game till then, and we probably still won't have caught
and that
them,
includes Norwich.
Yeah, we know what that
is coming up. Yeah. It's coming up. We can start talking about that nonsense. The worst week of my year. Another Philogene
hattrick. I can see it happening. He'll have 15 goals by Christmas, that boy. You'll be eating your words, let me tell you.
Mate, I'll happily eat my words if he's got 15 goals. I'll take that. I'll take 10 by Christmas, Dave. Happy days. Guys, it's been a joy. Thank you very, very much for joining us to talk about a 5-0 win and a virtuoso performance from Jaden Philogene. And we are live at Portman Road on October the 25th. Tickets are on sale. Has it gone 9 o'clock? Yes, it is. I'm tardy. I'm a poor host. I've gone over. But the tickets are on sale now. Go and check out the socials. 10 quid to get in. If you're a top tier member or a Telegram member, it's only 5. So you may as well join up and take the deal. What have you got to lose? Joe, get something ready, vibe out the ending. Dave, last word from you.
Bring on Blackburn. Bring it on. Another 3 points.
Joe, last word from you, mate.
Yeah, I love Friday night under the lights with Billie Jean pumping out as a stadium emptied on Friday night. That was class. So hopefully that won't be the last time the season erupts to that for Dave's top goal scorer bet now.
Yep. And the Ipswich Town admin on YouTube are going to learn that that's going to get their video demonetized as well. But they'll learn. Don't worry. They'll learn. Thank you, everybody watching. Blue Monday live. We will see you, during the week. Loads of stuff on Top Tier and the preview show will be here on Thursday.